Hey everybody, so today I saw Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, which is a very long title. I don't know why they would go with that. I hope the following Fast and Furious spin-off movies don't follow that because it would be very awkward. But this movie is directed by David Leitch, starring Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, and Vanessa Kirby. This movie is like bad sex. It's not great, but hey, you're still having sex, right? Now, this is a movie that defines a term of a turn your brain off movie. Positively, Johnson and Jason Statham have great chemistry together. They make the movie significantly better than it is and should be, and are the representation of the only good comedy of the movie, in my opinion. Kirby is fine in her role, and she fits very well into the dynamic of Jason Statham. Or Johnson and Statham. I'm going to keep doing that. Though sometimes she does feel a little bit out of place. I can't take that. Let me see if I can turn my fan off. No. Okay, it's going to stay on. Sorry. You might be hear my fan in the background. Sorry about that. Idris Elba is fine as the villain, but I don't think he's a great villain. It's fine for the story and it kind of works, but the entire underground secret society he works for didn't really present any kind of threat in opinion because everybody that he works for is an utter fucking idiot and they don't know what to do. All their guns, of course, they need this little chip to work, and if you don't have that chip, the gun doesn't work. Why? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense for a company to have any kind of gun that would work like that. It's stupid. But for the comedy, as previously stated, it works for the most part. The only problem is it continually relies on Hobbs and Shaw continually making fun of each other. And honestly, that shtick gets a little bit old after a while because every scene they're in, it's, oh, you big, bald-headed baby, oh, you little British baby, oh, blah, 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 shit like that. And that's the entire movie, that's the entire dynamic, that's all the comedy they have in this movie, directed towards each other. And like I said, it just gets a little bit old after a while, because I want to see something better and something that's actually written. As for the negative things, though, I thought this entire film was edited like shit. The fights are so quick cut and cut to so many different angles, it is impossible to tell what the hell is going on in the scenes. And there seems to be lines of dialogue cut from. There seems to be that lines of dialogue are cut very frequently. Lines seem to be cut off at the end to cut off a few words or a statement or a tagline or something like that, and they continually do that. And there was one time at the end of the movie in the third act that I thought was very glaring because I could have sworn I saw a trailer where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson finishes this line with something else. I believe he says "motherfucker," but it's cut and it's very abrupt and it stands out very, very easily, and it's really kind of off-putting sometimes. The story is fine to me, even though it jumps all over the place a little bit, and the soundtrack is terrible in my opinion. None of the song choices fit, and it's just a little bit boring from that standpoint. I understand it's Fast and Furious. They kind of have this thing to hold up to. They got to use the same soundtrack for all the movies. You got to use Pitbull. You got to use upbeat street music. I get it. It just didn't work, and I don't think it's worked for any of the Fast and Furious movies. Unfortunately, because of the trailers I saw for this and the sheer amount of background footage and interviews I saw, I knew where this movie was going to go. The cooler action sequences were already shown in pretty much full view in the trailers, so the fun was taken away from that. But overall, I didn't hate my time watching this movie, surprisingly. I sat down expecting to hate it, like I did when I saw Fast and Furious 8, which I hated every second of it, but I found myself oddly intrigued by what I was seeing on screen. I found myself having fun at very few points. Like I said, there is some fun stuff throughout the film, whether it be in a fight scene, especially the one at the end, which I think is great. Two great cameos that I wasn't expecting to see, and some good comedy and banter that do come from the lead characters. Overall, it's not a great movie. It's not. There's a lot of problems with it stylistically and structure-wise, but the performances by Statham and Johnson really helps carry the movie over. And honestly, I was excited for this movie going into it. It wasn't great. Maybe with a second viewing, with a different opinion in my head and the way that I'm going to view it, might come out a little bit different, a little bit more positive. I might have a little bit more fun with it. But what I got, it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to give Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw a 6.3 out of 10.